The biggest mistake in 2025 is to create content without creating intellectual property. ChatGPT has changed the content creation game faster than we can imagine, because the how-to questions and the value that we were getting from YouTube, we are now getting from ChatGPT. So while knowledge and information has become completely accessible in 2 seconds to just anyone, we still have 99% of creators making the old types of content. So if you move forward this way, your ideas will be worth $0. They will die in silence unless you do this. And this is not just some video about making videos. This is the next frontier. This is how you can get ahead in this new game. So this might seem abstract at first, but I promise you it will get very, very actionable. So the physical world at the moment has been divided for a long time, right? But the digital world is currently being divided, and you still can get your piece. And the smaller creator today has a lot to say, because the algorithm has gotten so advanced that it's so good at categorizing people that it's almost like it's creating these little tribes in a new feudal system. And while most people are creating content just to be seen, just ideas floating up in the air, there are other people creating content that is attracting their own tribe. Creators that are very good at getting views, even getting subscribers, but struggle to make even a little bit of money. It's because they don't own their ideas. But then there's this group of outliers that is creating a tribe, starting a movement and selling effortlessly. It's because they do own their ideas. And here's the difference. They turn their ideas into intellectual property, which means when attention meets their content, it doesn't just go, oh, this is nice, and then scroll to the next reel to forget about everything. The attention actually attaches, it latches on to the structure. The best analogy is to see it like digital real estate that you can build in this digital world, where your digital real estate is actually a tangible object that can store attention. Let me illustrate what I mean. Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week wasn't just an idea. It's a massive piece of digital real estate that he owns, that is inhabited by millions of people in this world. He owns the idea, and so it gives him full, total sovereignty. He can write any book that he wants to write. He can go on any podcast, build any business that he wants to build passionately. And he very much does so because he wrote a cookbook, The 4-Hour Chef, that also hit the New York Times bestseller list. Because at the same time, there are channels getting millions of views as well, but they don't have that gravitas. They don't own anything. So we need new content, and that new content needs to have intellectual property so that you can stand out in a chaotic world where everybody is overwhelmed and has unlimited access to information and knowledge already. To create your own category so that you can secure yourself against technology and competition. And the exciting thing is that once you start focusing on building intellectual property, you will actually start shaping your world, building things that you own in this digital space. Because right now, this digital world is being divided by creators. And what is the ultimate price of all of this? That you can build your own tribe, which means you can now build businesses that you actually fucking care about. Because all of this is built on the basis of you. That is the whole point. That we create this moat around ourselves that AI and competition can't access. So just like Tim Ferriss, the rest of your life will be an exploration of curiosity, competence, passions, building awesome businesses, all connected to who you are, and that's actually serving people that you care about. So what's the principle behind building intellectual property? That has to do with your lens. So the lens through which you see the world is what leads to unique perspectives about human experience and about just anything in this world. And this is where the opportunity lies. It's not about the dry how-to content and the jab, left hook, just provide as much value. This is done, man. The more we go into this avenue, the less we need to be fighting on knowledge and information, as those pieces will be already available to anyone. It's what you create with those pieces, the taste, the curation, the synthesis. That's where you need to go, and that's what this is about, what I'm about to show you. So in essence, we have to stop making content that's for everyone. We have to start making content that is only for your people, only for your tribe, so that we can collect them and start building businesses that actually do something in this world. If not, you will be competing in a red ocean of knowledge that you will only get lost in. Or in the best case, build an audience that isn't really connected to you. So you're gonna outgrow it at some point. So how do we do all this? How do you turn your ideas into intellectual property? And this is actually one of the systems I use to help educational creators get into a position where they are just working on their life's work, on their big idea, turn that into intellectual property so that clients are just coming to them and they can just choose the high value dream clients that they want to work with. In my opinion, that's how you get to true freedom. And I call this system WIP, or WIP. And it stands for the 3 key pieces of intellectual property you need to get to such a position. When you create content, you create a portal to a different world. Like any series you've ever watched, it's the background you choose to film in, the characters that keep showing, your accent, editing, colors, fashion, music, down to the fucking accessories you choose to wear on your hands. If we don't like to spend time in your world, we won't even listen to what you have to say, let alone buy anything from you. So we want to build a world that attracts and hosts your people, your tribe. So let's say you've done that, you've created a world that people like to stay in. That still doesn't mean shit, because again, there's a lot of people that get a lot of views but make very little money. And that's where the identity comes in. Nobody buys, and this is so important, this is about everything. Nobody buys a product, a service, a program. It's all a facade, it's all a packaging, a wrapper. What we buy is a future identity that our ego desires in this moment. So we always have contracts with ourselves to be unhappy until we reach X. And what we buy is a future identity. If you are buying an Audi RS6, first of all, great fucking taste. But second of all, you are not buying the car. You are buying the version of you that has that car. When you are buying that online program, you are not buying any of the things that you'll get. What you're buying is the future you who's now making 20K per month or X or Y or Z. If we buy a future identity that our current ego craves, then we need to be absolutely, and we have to turn this into a whole structure, a key component in our world, a future identity. A identity that collectively your tribe desires. And this can be an identity that you are still moving towards yourself. And in that case, you will just be helping people in your audience that are right behind you. For a long time with my channel, I've done that. As long as you've done something impressive that other people might desire. Now, when people have bought psychologically, so this is about belief shifting, your future identity, that's where the last missing piece comes in. And that's your unique plan to get there. So the WIP strategy is simple. When we like to stay in your world long enough to buy the desired identity, we only need to believe that your plan is the one to get us there. And when we do, we are in a full buying state without having seen any crappy lead magnet or sleazy landing page. This is how I get people through my content and that of my clients in a state where they will go looking for ways to work with you. So you don't need a funnel, you don't need sleazy copywriting, you don't need cringy ads, you don't need to get in front of people to sell your stuff. It is all organic attraction. And for me, that was always the pinnacle of business. And so here's the cool thing, we can visualize all of this. Eventually your world could look something like this, or like this one. It's like a little city in this digital world that you completely own. And this is the next frontier. This is where we're going. And so building out your world identity and plan obviously takes separate videos. So let me know what you're most interested in and I'll get to those first. Now, if you're interested in reading the whole manifesto and the individual detailed components that make up for the system, I'll be sharing those first in a community I just created, the Sovereign Creator Club. You can already apply for this, get your seat, and then very soon we will kick things off in there. So link for that is in the description. And if you want, you can go watch this video next, which is also pretty cool. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.